This is Jeff Owens, Director of WEIU-FM. Welcome to Issues and Attitudes. We are on WEIU Radio, WEIU Television, and Your 13 Television. My co-host, Casey Berry.
Hello, hello.
Casey with a little bit of a sore throat.
We
may get into it later.
Yeah.
Making a return appearance. Number 2 for her is Jeanne Hamilton, Director of the Charleston Carnegie Public Library. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good to see you again. We recovered a little bit from the heat wave. 80 feels fine.
Yeah.
We never know that. Well, let's start off. We're going to talk a lot about, obviously, the Charleston Public Library today, but let's talk about, first of all, in your opinion, why do you think, or what do you think the impact is of having a great library in a town such as Charleston, or really any town?
Well, I think it has changed over the years. Libraries started out, as a place to get books, and now it's really expanded. So now it's a community space. So, for example, we're a cooling center right now, so we can be cool for people in the last week of the heat wave, and we have people using our study rooms to study in or as a meeting space, and then, of course, we still have the books, and we're moving to some electronic books as well that we are able to offer. So education and a community space.
When you say the cooling center, that was one of the things I was going to ask you. Have you found that people are just stopping by the library more last week to try to find a way to escape what was just an unbelievable heat wave?
Yeah, we have. We've had a few people who say that, we don't have air conditioning in our apartment or house, and looking for a spot to hang out to keep cool. And it's really nice that we have computers as well, so people are able to get some work done or even play some games while they're staying out of the heat.
So as a cooling center, if someone wants to go there and hang out, do they need to be a member, or is that just something you're just doing for the community as a whole?
No, we're open to the public. So the cooling center hours are the same hours as the library. So we are open 7 days a week now. It's 10 to 8 Monday through Wednesday, and 10 to 5 Thursday through Saturday, 1 to 5 on Sunday. But no one needs a card to come in or use the computers or anything like that. So.
I want to talk about some of the summer events.
Well, I see today you've got quite a bit going on right now. So can you tell us a little bit about what's going on today and maybe throughout the rest of this week?
Sure. Every Monday we have preschool story time. That's actually been our most popular event this summer. We have probably about 30 people coming to that, so the moms and the preschoolers. And then tomorrow we have our biggest event of the summer. It's put on by Mad Science out of St. Louis, and it's called Science is So Delicious. Our theme this summer is Reading is So Delicious, so it's kind of a play on that. And they'll do some cool experiments, maybe some flashbang type things, and we're expecting probably about 300 people. We actually have to give out tickets for that in advance because of fire code regulations, so we're expecting to be at the max for that.
How did you meet up with the people from St. Louis to do something like this?
There's some library email lists, and the Paris Library in Paris, Illinois is having them in the afternoon, so it was a great partnership. We can split the travel costs because there is a travel fee. So Paris gets them in the afternoon and we get them in the morning.
Oh, that's a very neat thing. Other events that are coming up?
Sure. Every Tuesday we also have a Thumbs Up Club, it's called. It's for grades 1 through 8. Yeah, and they get to give their thumbs up to books that they like. So a couple weeks ago I led it, and I got to read Amelia Bedelia to the kids. Have you read that before?
Yeah, a long time ago.
So I read a little portion of that, and then they told me about some books that they liked too. So it's just a time where kids can talk a little bit about what they're liking to read, and it really encourages reading comprehension, because then they have to remember what they liked about the book, and we kind of pull that out of them.
Now, do you ever work with some of the schools, like not just Eastern, we'll get to Eastern in a little bit, but do you work with like the Charleston School District, Mattoon, or Oakland ever, so that they can kind of, continue on in the summer doing some of the things they did in school?
Yeah, when the kids sign up for the summer reading program, they tell us what school they go to, and then we'll be giving that list to the school librarians in the fall. And so I think they might be giving them some extra points points or something along those lines, giving them credit for participating in the summer. And then the school librarians are really good about publicizing our events too and sharing that with the kids. And so we do work closely with the school librarians.
Now, how does Eastern Illinois University in any way work with the Charleston Carnegie Public Library?
Well, we do have a summer reading program for adults, so we do have Eastern students participating in that. And we have local businesses who have given prizes for each week. So like you get a coupon pretty much to a business for doing a task each week. So adults are task-based. And then we also have the HERC, the Health Education Resource Center, is doing a teen and adult event. It's two separate ones, but it's about healthy snacks. So going along with that Reading is So Delicious theme, but they'll be doing that in July. So teens is the 18th and adults is the 24th.
Okay. One of the things I want to ask you is, let's say someone is brand new to the community, and maybe they haven't had a library card in a while. Take us through the process of obtaining a library card from Charleston here.
Sure. If you live in the Charleston city limits, you're paying property taxes to support the library. So you just come in with something with your address on it to prove that you live in Charleston, and you fill out an application card, and you have a library card within 5 minutes usually.
Oh, really? That fast?
So,
does that count for Eastern students too, or does that?
Eastern students, we do give a year card. Usually regular residents, it's a 3-year card, but Eastern students we find are moving around a lot more. So, and just to renew it, all you have to do is bring your new address in. So it's really easy to do. If you do live in Illinois already as an Eastern student, you have the option of just using your home library's card. So we let you kind of choose whether you want to. It's just a little different process if you're using your home library card.
Now I know here in Coles County, you have the Mattoon Library, Charleston Library, and then obviously there's Oakland here. Now, do you share resources? Like if someone brings a Mattoon Library card in and Charleston goes to Mattoon, how does that work?
Yeah, we actually, Mattoon and Charleston share the same computer system, and so we can just scan the Mattoon card and see all of your information, so you can check out books at either place and return books at the opposite place. We're also sending them back and forth between each other.
Is that common? I didn't know if that was common among libraries nationwide or statewide.
So we share a computer system with about 150 libraries in Illinois. So it's kind of the east central part of the state. And then starting early next year, there's been some state changes at the state level. Almost the whole southern half of the state will be on the same computer system. So that we're really excited about that. That will make it easier for people getting the library cards, re-enter some information, and then we'll be able to share between a lot more people.
So it's kind of one of these things like, I'm from Southern Illinois, so if I were down, visiting my parents and I wanted to get this great book and they only had it down there, I could bring it back to Charleston when I'm done with it, and you guys would take care of that?
Right. That's starting in early next year. We'll be able to do that. Right now, if you were to return it to us, we do have a way of sending it back, but it wouldn't be checked in right away. So you might have some fees associated with it if it ends up there late.
Okay.
So, but that's the positive, is that it will be able to be checked in right away, and you won't have to worry about your due date being overdue.
Okay.
Checking out your website today, I noticed there's a lot of stuff about genealogy, and that seems to be something that people are really checking up on right now. Talk about that if you can.
Sure. We have actually a whole level of the library that's dedicated to genealogy. We do have volunteers staffing the section right now. Staff are happy to help, but we do have kind of a limited knowledge of the area. But there's a lot of things there. We have a lot of people doing research. One of the best things about the section is we have a wall of filing cabinets with all of the research that's already been done on families in Coles County. So if your family is from Coles County, you don't have to reduplicate the search if somebody else has done it already. So that's kind of neat, like newspaper clippings and that sort of thing. One
of the things I've noticed in terms of books lately, it seems like you hear about books and you don't hear about books, but this 50 Shades of Grey stuff. Me and my wife got in, she's even read it. But I mean, is that good for library business, bad for library business? I mean, it has got people talking about books.
Yeah. I think it's a good thing. It brings up the issues with libraries. I know I have a master's degree in library and information science, and book challenges are one of the things that we're taught in library school, that you want to stand for books and that we should have an access to information for everyone. So it is a big issue that we don't want to ban books or censor things. And so I think it's interesting. It brings attention to that fact again. And I think any time that a book is challenged, that book is probably going to be the most popular, checked out book for a while. We do have a copy of it, and I think it's a trilogy, and I think we have at least a couple in the trilogy. And there is a long wait list for that. You're not going to find it on our shelves for a while because it will be checked out, but you can request it.
Just to answer my own question, I think that would be a good thing, because you hear about books a lot. Like Stephen King or somebody will come out with a new book, but this has really caused us to. It seems like everybody is talking about these books, which is kind of like the Harry Potter stuff. So I mean, I think that's got to be good for your quote unquote business at the Charleston Library.
And no one has challenged it in Charleston.
That's good. That's good. What are kids reading today? When you talk about young kids, maybe the 5 to 8 year olds and the 8 to 12s, and then the teenagers, what kind of books are they checking out today?
Wow, there's a multitude of books out there. I think that's really changed. There's a huge teen section now, and I think that when I was a kid, that wasn't really there. I don't think there was that teen area seems to really have exploded, and adults are reading in that teen section too. Like Twilight it's a couple years old now, but it has really changed over the years. But there's a lot of adventure things, I think, and there's a lot of dystopian future books out there right now, like how would it work if the government really took over? So that seems to be the popular thing right now.
I also noticed on your website something that and I didn't get a lot of chance to check it, but it was kind of like a usage calculator that you can check, like on your website, that talks about like how many books you check out, and you can actually see how much you're using the library. Is that what that's about?
I think you're talking about the value calculator. Yeah, so you can actually put in how much you check out and see how much the value of your library card is, like what you are quote unquote saving in a year. Like if you bought those or checked them out at a video store instead of at the library for free. It talks a little bit about that. And that we put that on there because there is a fee for people who don't live in the city limits. It's a state law that we have to charge the average of what the property taxpayers are paying. And so it's $90 a year for a family that lives outside of Charleston. And so we were hoping that would help a little bit in determining whether or not you should purchase that library card. And I think usually it's like one checkout pretty much pays for your library card if you were to buy all the books.
That's pretty cool. Hey.
So I'm just looking around, do you have a favorite section or type of book or book in general? I mean, working in the library, I mean, you see all of these books come in and out. Do you ever go, oh, I want to read that. Oh, that looks good. Things like that. Do you ever have and if so, what would be your favorite?
Yeah, I have a Goodreads account, and that's a great way to keep track of what you've read and what you want to read. So I kind of have to do that because I see so much that I like. I do read a lot of the young adult literature, like the dystopian future. Mm-hmm. I just read Insurgent, which is the second book in the Divergent series, and it's about a future where you choose where you live based on how you think the world should be run. So, like, one of them is based on fearless, and they're called dauntless, and so they're the risk takers. And then one of the factions is the people who think a lot, and then there's another one they're selfless. So that's my favorite. I think is I do like that dystopian future right now. So
are there any studies about whether or not people are using libraries more or less compared to a few years ago, or even 20, 30 years ago?
Yeah, I think that people, with the economy still being a little bit down, people are turning to libraries for free entertainment. So they're coming to our events and they're checking things out. We have a lot of people who check out DVDs, and so I think that it is up, that people are turning to the library for that free.
The reason I ask is in the age of electronics now, everything is on e-readers or Kindles or whatever. You would probably know more than I would.
Actually, no. I'm if I'm gonna read, I grab a book. I mean, and I know a lot of people who are like, oh, just give me my tablet, give me my whatever. And I mean, how do you compete with that? I don't know. I mean, do some people? I like the smell of a book. Like I'm one who likes to smell the pages. I don't know. I'm weird. But I don't get a lot of time to read, but when I do read, I want to actually like flip a page. And how do you compete with e-readers and everything being right at our fingertips and not having to go to the library? How do you compete with that?
I think we're trying not to compete. We're rather adapting to it. So we do have on our website, there's a section called My Media Mall, and we share with a good portion of the state actually is in that pool. And so there's probably about 90,000 titles of ebooks that you can download. And so the library is really coming to your home too now. So we're trying not to compete. We're trying to jump into that market too.
Very good answer, Jeanne. We're talking to Jeanne
yeah.
Hamilton, if you're just tuning in, from the Charleston Carnegie Public Library, talking a little about library and books and all things going on this summer at the library. What about, is there a limit on the number of things one person could have checked out? Is like, can I check out only 1 book a week, 5 books a week? Talk about some of the rules of the library.
No limit on books. We do have a limit of 3 DVDs at a time. That's mainly just because we have a smaller collection, so we don't want them all to be out at once. And then there's a limit of 5 music CDs at a time. So we do have the CDs as well. And yeah, no limit on the books though. So we have some people right now, especially in the summer, with having 20 children's books stacked high. And
the old adage or the rumor is that in the library you're not supposed to talk. I mean, talk about that. I mean, is it really something, or can people have conversations, or do you really have to be quiet?
Oh, you should have been there this morning, right before preschool story time. It is loud. It's really not like that anymore. We do have quiet sections of the library where there are places where you can go and study and really be immersed in what you're trying to read or study. But the children's section definitely is never quiet. And so, yeah, that's something that really has changed too. And I think that libraries have tried to be more welcoming. Before there was that stereotype of the really strict librarian and they're shushing, and I think that's really trying to change.
There you go. One of the things we talked about last time you were here, but it's been a few months, and I find the fascinating part is you obviously don't have so much room in the library. Talk about, there's all these new books coming in, you got old books going out. Do you sell the books? Do you transfer the books? And how do you decide what new books you bring in?
Yeah. I don't know if we had it yet when I was here last time, but we have cleaned out a storage room and now have made it a book sale room. And so we have a group called the Friends of the Library, and they have book sales about every quarter. And so they'll open up that room, and it's all organized. It's probably the most organized used book sale I've ever seen. But a lot of our books that we just need room on the shelf, or if we have duplicates and it's not popular anymore, then they'll go in there, and we get lots and lots of donations too. And that's a great fundraiser for the library.
Then how do you decide what new books you guys are going to bring into the library? Is there studies, or do you kind of do some research, or go by maybe your guests or your the public?
Yeah, we do accept requests, or like 50 Shades of Grey. We know that's in the news, so it's going to be popular. We do get like one of the popular library magazines is Library Journal, and it gives book reviews, so we choose based on that as well.
Interesting. How about financially? I know a few years ago people were worried about the finances of the Charleston Library. Are you guys doing okay right now?
We're doing really well. We've really looked at the budget a lot and cut back where we could. So we were really excited. In the beginning of June, we were able to open on Thursdays again because we were closed in the past due to budget. So that was partially just really looking at that schedule and optimizing when we could have staff at what desks, and it's really looking up. So we haven't really increased our funding, but we're in a lot better place. We're cutting unnecessary expenses.
Let's talk about you a little bit, Jeanne Hamilton. I mean, how you got to Charleston, Illinois. I know you're from Central Illinois, Springfield, and you went to U of I. But what drove you to this job and the duties you do there?
Well, I started out my undergraduate degree at U of I in actuarial science, so a little bit different. So I decided I didn't want to be behind a desk crunching numbers all day. So I found a library school and went at U of I as well. And then I my first job was in Effingham as the assistant director there. And shortly after that, I became the director there. And then my husband was working at University of Illinois, and I was there, so we moved to Charleston to split the difference. And then when the job at Charleston opened up, it was just a perfect fit. I had already fallen in love with the community, and I really wanted to give back here. And so I started here. And
then you don't have to drive to Effingham every day.
Right. It's been great. And now my husband actually works at Eastern, so it really has worked out really well.
Some things fall in place for people.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Are there any needs the library has right now in terms of volunteers or events coming up that you might need something for?
Sure. We always welcome volunteers. We have some different projects we want to do. Our CD collection, the cases are kind of breaking, and so we've purchased some new cases, so we could definitely use some help transferring some of those CDs. And then, of course, we can always use help cleaning up as well. And we're right next to a bar, so the parking lot gets a little trashed sometimes, so we could use help cleaning up there too.
We may be able to help you on the CD. We get a lot of CDs we don't really use. What about, in your opinion, best thing about the Charleston Library? You can't say the people either. It's, a section,
I think the space, it's just so great. I'm so glad that they were able to do the renovation when they did and the addition. I don't think that we could do that today with the way the economy is, but they got it at the exact right time, and it's great that they kept the old Carnegie look, have that historical face. You can see it inside the library. So.
Anything there? One other thing that interests me a while ago, which you said, I'll let you think for a question.
Okay.
You said the 50 Shades of Grey has not been challenged. And that probably, and that may seem like a different type of word that we would use. We'd probably think banned or outlawed. But when you say challenge, what's that mean? Like if I'm as a person in the public, I go and challenge that you shouldn't have this book, or
So you would fill out a form and challenge the book, and then so it's like the step before being banned. So you challenge it, and then it would go to the library board, and they would decide whether to keep it in the collection or ban it. So banning is really the official decision to take it out.
Now, do you know of any books that have been challenged maybe under your tutelage there or prior?
I don't know of any at Charleston. When I was at Effingham, I had a book that was challenged. It was in our teen section, and it was about a girl who had been kidnapped and had abuse throughout the years, and they just thought it wasn't appropriate for the the teen section. And the library board actually just recently won an award for upholding the decision to keep it in the teen section.
Well, they kept it.
So yeah, they kept it, and they won an award this year for it.
Interesting.
Wow.
Interesting.
So talking about all of this, what's your ultimate goal in the library? What's the library's goal? Is it to reach kids, reach adults? What service in all would you say you provide? What's your mission?
Well, we really want to be a place of both education and entertainment for the whole community. So we really have expanded teen and adult programs over the past year, and that's been really exciting. So we do, like, we show movies at the library, and then we also offer educational programming, so fun and education.
All right, I'll let you both answer these questions as we have a few minutes left here. Favorite author?
Mine's Beverly Lewis. She writes Amish fiction.
Amish fiction.
You would ask me that right now. I would say
about books.
I know. I should have thought about this. I actually recently read The Help, so I would say, Catherine Stockett writes really well. I like that book. It's a really good book.
Stephen King. I'll answer that one. So, read both of his last 2 books. They were long,
Yeah.
but they were really good. Favorite summertime activity not involving the library?
Oh boy, I would say running usually, but it's too hot now.
Bike riding.
Bike riding. All right. Favorite website you have to visit each day? Where do you have to go?
Well, this is kind of a cheat, but I go to my Google Reader and then everything's sent to me there.
That's all right. See, that's the technology of young folks.
I visit Facebook regularly.
All right. Favorite thing about Coles County? What do you like to do in Coles County?
We like to try all the different restaurants, so.
I would have to say, you'd have to ask me all these questions, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm on the spot now.
You could say the Charleston Library and really.
Oh, I could say the library, yeah. No, I would have to say it's definitely different. All the Lincoln stuff around here, that's not popular where I'm from. I think that's kind of it's interesting that we're so into history here. I think it's very cool.
Yes. You have a favorite Sesame Street character? We are a PBS TV station, so we have to ask that.
I guess Oscar the Grouch.
Oscar the Grouch? That's a different one.
Well, I would stick to my answer and say Elmo, but last time I got in trouble for not picking Big Bird, so I'll go Big Bird this time.
Gotta go Big Bird. And Oscar's a good one, though. He was kind of the funniest one there. All right, this is a different type of question. Favorite flavor of Kool-Aid? It's been so hot.
What's the red flavor?
Cherry. Yeah.
I would go combination cherry lemonade.
Anything but grape would be my answer.
Oh, I love grape.
Grape Kool-Aid.
Oh.
Okay, the book that's getting ready to come out that you're most looking forward to reading. Is there anything coming down the pipe? You don't have to answer this.
The next one in the Divergent series. I don't know what the title is yet. But
anything for you?
I got nothing coming out right now. I haven't really.
Mine would be the next Stephen King. I'm not sure. He wrote those 2 last, so I think he's taking a little time off right now. Now, let's go a different type of reading. Any kind of favorite magazine that you have to read each week, month, or whatever?
Well, I'm going to cheat and say the same thing I said last time.
No cheating this time. You got to have a magazine. It's got to be. You work at a library.
Well, the Illinois Library Association puts out the Reporter, so I like reading up on what other libraries in Illinois are doing. So.
Okay.
I would have to say I'm. Back in high school, I had to read the U.S. News and World Report, and it kind of stuck with me. When I do read a magazine, between that and Midwest Living.
There you go. Mine used to be Sporting News until they ruined that magazine. I'm still mad about that. All right, favorite newspaper then? Is there a newspaper you have to go to each day, or a newspaper website, or a newspaper you have to read each day?
Oh, I think the only one I ever read is the Journal-Gazette.
That's the one I read. Yeah.
I like to go to USA Today as well. Real quick, the website for the Charleston Carnegie Public Library, and maybe your phone number. We have about 20 seconds.
charlestonlibrary.org, and it's 345-4913.
All right. Jeanne Hamilton, thank you for coming in. We appreciate all your support you give us, and we wish you nothing but the best of luck there at the Charleston Library.
Thank you.
All right, Casey, we want your voice to get better.
Thank you.
So everybody have a great day. This is HitMix 88.9 WEIU, as well as WEIU TV and Your 13 TV. Everyone have a great day.